Hey guys, what's up? The BubbaKing here, and as you can tell by the title, it's not a game stream I'm doing today. It's the only reason the game is here is because it's the only way that I can stream it. But I'm here today with something that me and my co-hosts have been wanting to do for a hell of a long time. We've always had the idea to do a wrestling podcast, but never really knew, we didn't just want to do a basic podcast where we just talk about the news each week and that. We wanted to do something different. We will talk about the news every so often, and this new series that we're doing is coming about because of everything that's gone down in the last 3 days. So, myself and the Ginger Knight are going to be doing a new series, and as you can tell by the title and the description, loosely based on what cultures how WWE should or should have booked, or the brief one episode where they rebooked WCW. To be honest, they could have picked anything over the many years and it would have been fine. We're going to have a hand at either rebooking stuff or booking future stuff, but it's not going to be a lot of obvious stuff, like our one today. Our one today is a future booking, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give Robert the program that I want to see and ask him to book it. And then next week, I'm going to let him pick. And then Robert's going to book, because I haven't got the patience or the brain power. So, the choice for episode 1 today, we've both agreed, it was a choice of 2. We could have either rebooked the Nexus,
which is pretty self-explanatory.
Exactly.
Don't have them win it. Just have them win at SummerSlam.
Exactly, yeah, but then you've got to maintain them after that.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I don't just want this to be I don't want this to be something where it's one show a week, and I don't want it to just be big features. I want there to be, if you're going to go all in on someone and book someone, I want there to be little details as well. Like, for example, we are both fans of The Fiend.
Yep.
And everything The Fiend did, every little thing, the let me in, every little thing he did.
The nuances.
Exactly. Every appearance they had, it meant something.
Yep.
So, today's one, I've already told him it's going to be in depth, or it has to be. Today's one is going to be the rest of their time in NXT, and then going up to the main roster and booking them on the main roster. Robert's task today is to book the Undisputed Era. He gave me an idea earlier on, because we've been talking for about 2 hours now. He gave me an idea early on for the era. I'm not sure if he's going to include that, but if he does, I'm pretty sure you guys are going to like it. Now, we're having to do this via phone call because someone's not got a PlayStation camera yet, or a PlayStation mic yet. Not me, guys. I've been trying to get him to get one forever. It will happen. So, yeah, from now, the voice you're going to hear, it might be a bit grainy, but the voice you're going to hear from this point on is Robert's, and he is going to book the Undisputed Era the rest of their time on NXT, and then on the main roster, and in the background, I'm going to be playing Madden. So, Robert, you're on speaker, you're as close to the camera as I can possibly get it without it freaking out.
Yep.
Take it away.
Okay, right, so, to begin with, brief overview of obviously the Undisputed Era on NXT. I thought that their debut when they attacked McIntyre was fucking great. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved that. It took longer than expected to get to the Undisputed Prophecy had been fulfilled. It took longer than I thought to get to that point. Now, right now, we have 3 brands. We have Raw, SmackDown, NXT.
Yeah.
Now that NXT is the 3rd brand, officially the 3rd brand, we've been saying it's been the 3rd brand for the longest fucking time.
Yeah.
You know, because of TakeOver, they've overshot everything that we've done on the main roster. Without a doubt, especially in ring-wise. Now, there were rumours going on that the Undisputed Era were going to be moving up like last year. Like, I think at the beginning of this year there were rumours going on about that.
Yeah. There still are.
They still are all the time. Honestly, in my opinion, you could have the Undisputed Era go up whenever. Because Adam Cole is a star. You know, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, again, stars. Roderick Strong, one of the absolute best to do it in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
Personality-wise, he can improve a lot, but, you know, he has the experience.
Can I just interject quick?
Yep.
My favourite member of the era is Kyle O'Reilly.
He's so extra. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love the way he sells. I love the air guitar with the titles. You know, it's like you said at the beginning. It's the little nuances that characters do that really, really set them apart. It's the little things. It's when Adam Cole does the Adam Cole baby and everyone goes mental, or it's the way that he acts in the ring. It's the way that, you know, he sneakily wins. You know, like the match with Matt Riddle, he barely won that.
Yeah.
He barely won that, but he also gave it his all. You know, and it's not hard to book a dominant champion. It is not hard whatsoever. But the thing that you should do with the Undisputed Era the moment they get up to the main roster is make a huge statement. Because you could easily just have Adam Cole come out and interrupt Seth Rollins. You could easily do that, right?
Yeah.
But is that going to make a statement?
No.
No. That's just going to be, oh, he's just another guy. No, here's what I do, right?
Strowman?
So, the Undisputed Era dominates NXT, which they already are doing, obviously, right? The Undisputed Prophecy has been fulfilled. Adam Cole is still the NXT champion at this point, right?
Right, okay.
And the Undisputed Era are still the tag team champions. Roderick Strong just lost the North American title to Matt Riddle.
Right.
Right? In a great match, right? Absolute
like
bomb burner. Because I feel like Matt Riddle, not to go on too much of a tangent with Matt Riddle, but Matt Riddle needs a title.
Yes.
Without a doubt, right? The guy is money, right? Without a shadow of a doubt. So, you already have the legitimacy of having 3 champions, right? Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, right?
Yeah.
Roderick Strong, because he's just lost the title, you know, he needs to get his heat back. Right? Here's what I do. So, you know how Raw usually goes, where pretty much Rollins comes out, then probably Strowman comes out, you know, and they're like, oh, like we did the other week, where they're like, oh, I will face you for the Universal title in the main event. If you really, really want viewers for that first hour, for that first segment, that is easy, right? The Undisputed Era's music hits, right? Everyone's going mental, but they're not there. You cut backstage, and they're attacking the entire roster. They're beating the fuck out of everyone backstage. It doesn't matter who you are, right? You're in the Undisputed Era's way, you're getting beat up. right? So they're just laying waste to everybody. And Rollins and Strowman, I'm just using Rollins and Strowman as an example because Rollins and Strowman are two of the big stars. Obviously, the Fiend, but you wouldn't have the Fiend get beat up by the Undisputed Era because it's the Fiend. You know?
See, that was the person that came to my mind first, and that's why I said after that Strowman.
Because the thing is, right? What happened last night was obviously a travesty, right? You know?
Yeah.
What happened with the Fiend, obviously, right?
We'll cover that tomorrow, guys. After all,
you don't want the Fiend anywhere near getting beat up, right? You don't want that. That's the number one thing you don't want. However, Rollins is the top guy in the company. Well, the top guy in the company. You know, two other people, he's quite boring, quite bland, right?
Yeah.
But no doubt about it, he's the Universal Champion, he's the face of Raw. So the Undisputed Era have already taken out a load of people backstage. They've gone to Gorilla and they've just caused mayhem. Because let's be honest, that hasn't happened. You know, and it's so easy to do. All you need to do is have the Undisputed Era or have a tag team just go backstage and make a statement.
Yeah.
Right? So, the Undisputed Era, after they beat up people backstage, they slowly start walking out. Right? And at this point, Strowman has left. So it's just Rollins in the ring, right? It's just Rollins left in the ring. And Rollins knows something about being left in the ring on his own. What did he used to do in the Shield? Someone would be alone in the ring, they would turn up and they would beat the fuck out of the person, right?
Yeah.
Rollins gets a taste of his own medicine because Rollins has no friends, because at this point, Roman Reigns, and usually it happens anyway. Another thing that doesn't make sense in WWE is a babyface will get beat up, right? And there's a lot of babyfaces backstage who don't go out there to help him.
Yeah.
We're led to believe that the good guys, you know, are there for the other good guys. They've got their backs and shit. But no, that never happens. And it doesn't happen here. It doesn't happen here. Because already backstage, Roman's been taken out.
Yeah.
Roman's been taken out. So it's just Rollins left in the ring. And Rollins realizes where he's at right now. He realizes he's screwed. He turns around, boom, super kick. Right? And then Kyle O'Reilly looks in a guillotine, chokes out Rollins, and it's just 5 or 10 minutes of the Undisputed Era just beating up Rollins, right? And absolutely making a statement. You know, Adam Cole's there with the NXT title, right? And not only does he hit the last shot on Rollins, but he hits the Panama Sunrise on the Universal Championship.
Oof.
Right?
Oh.
End of the segment is Adam Cole holding up both the NXT title and the Universal title at the same time.
And that's the first night on, I'm guessing, Raw.
Yep.
Oof.
That's their first night on Raw. And that's the beginning segment. So everyone at this point everyone's tuned in.
Wow.
Because you're gonna need something like that.
Yeah.
You can't just have the same stagnant programming you have every week.
No.
You know, that is not gonna win the ratings. That's just gonna be bland and boring. But if you have the Undisputed Era go out there and make a statement to the point where, and another touch here, right? The commentators are 100% silent throughout the entire beatdown because they're in shock, and it does not help one single bit when a beatdown's happening and King's there going, "Oh my God, he's gonna beat him!" That does nothing. That does nothing but harm the segment because you want it to be authentic. You want it to be natural. What made the Nexus angle so good? It was silent.
Yeah, but some would argue, guys, yeah, just to the point, you are going to hear me interject every now and then. Some would argue, like myself, that the main reason that it was silent was because the Nexus took them out.
Exactly. And what did the Undisputed Era do? I didn't mention it, did I?
No.
Not only did they go backstage and attack the superstars, but Adam Cole super kicks Jerry Lawler in the back of the head. And then Peyton Manning gets chucked off the stage. And Vic Joseph, he just runs away.
Yeah.
Right?
By the way, you called him Peyton Manning again.
Yeah, shit, wrong one.
Dion Madden.
Dion Madden, that's it. I'm not used to the guy because he's only been on 205 Live a few weeks on it. So that's the first thing you see on Raw.
Hold on, before you carry on, just a little point, and that WWE is how you retcon mistakes. Carry on, buddy.
So that's the first night. And that's only the first segment of the night. They haven't had a Raw in a while where it's very chaotic.
No, they haven't.
To the point where no one knows what's happening, no one knows what matches are going on. Everyone is sort of on the tippy toes, not knowing what's going to happen because the Undisputed Era have just gone out there and laid waste to a Universal Champion. Right? So that's the first night. And that entire show is one of those shows. Remember, like, when Triple H was in charge of Raw back in 11? Yeah. And it was before the Vengeance pay-per-view, and everyone went out there and said, we're leaving.
Yeah, the whole that was the no confidence thing, right?
The workspace gets so bad that people can't be there because the Undisputed Era are just laying rush shot to everybody.
Yeah.
Right? So Adam Cole's out there and he's like, you guys are watching Raw, but you've not been watching NXT for a long time. And let me just assure you right now, I am the NXT champion. I am the linchpin of NXT. Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, the best tag team on the planet. Revival, what's happened to you? You used to be NXT tag team champions, and what happened to you the moment you made it? Make it a shoot promo. Have the Undisputed Era go out there and say, look at all the NXT talent that have gone up here and floundered. When in NXT, they were the biggest stars in the world. They come to Monday Night Raw and they don't make a statement. They become complacent. The difference is, we're not complacent. We're the Undisputed Era. And it doesn't matter who you are, what you do, what your position on the card is. You are not ready for what's about to happen. Because so many superstars have gone up here and just became nothing. Turned into jokes. And you know why that is? Because in NXT, you could hide behind that. But when you're in the bright lights of Monday Night Raw, you're complacent just getting a paycheck backstage. But guess what? We're not going to allow that. Because we are here to make a statement. And that, boys and girls, is undisputed.
Perfect.
And that's it. The Undisputed Era leave and everyone's in shock. Everyone's like, what just happened? Did they just go off script there? Because you need that too. Every single promo nowadays is so generic. And especially any promo, right? It's so generic and it's so formulaic. Yeah. And you can tell where it's going. Babyface 1 goes out there and says, whoa, welcome to this city, blah, 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 blah. Oh, how are we doing tonight? Oh, here's a brief backstory, what happened last week. Go to a Tron. Oh, yeah, and here's what's going to happen now. Heel interrupts. Heel comes out. Heel talks shit to the babyface. They get into a scuffle. They make a match for the main event. It's so formulaic.
See, my only argument with that would be, when you were saying that, there were two people that came to my mind that babyface and heel, but they do it in such a way that they follow the formulaic thing, but they make it...
Some people can get away with it. I'm saying guys like Rollins.
Exactly. The two that came to my mind were, of course, the babyface has got to be Foley.
Mm-hmm.
Foley was a babyface in such a way that you could never hate him, and also in terms of the heel, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe is a heel. He's a typical heel, but he does it in such a way that he's badass.
Yeah, like I said, some people can get away with it.
Exactly.
But nowadays, like I said, it's so formulaic. You can literally tell what's going to happen right away before it even happens. Fans want to be shocked. Why do you think with the whole return of Ciampa and Balor and in AEW with Hager, why do you think that was such a big deal? Because it weren't expected.
Yeah.
You know?
They don't want to be shocked like last night, though, do they, bud?
No, that's a different shot. That's not a good shot.
I know. Right? That's why I brought it up.
You could say it was a shock to the system. And obviously after that first week, the Undisputed Era have put everyone on notice, right? So each week, right, a former NXT talent goes out there, right, and says basically, what are you doing here? You know, you're still NXT champion. Why are you up here? And Adam Cole just says, I'm here because you say, for example, Apollo Crews comes out, right? An underutilized guy, very underutilized, criminally underutilized. He's one of the best, right? Yeah. So Adam Cole goes out there and he says, look, the reason I'm here is because people from NXT have been treated like shit for far too long. We're here to change that. Look at you. Look at you, Apollo. Even in NXT, you couldn't get anywhere. Even in NXT, you could barely get popular. But the moment you come to the main roster, you're there for a week, and the next week, no one cares. And why is that? Is it because you're a charismaless vacuum? Or is it because you're not undisputed? Now, here's what I'm going to do, Apollo. I'm going to make you a deal, right? You, for far too long, have been underutilized here. How would you like to be a part of the Undisputed Era? And obviously, Apollo Crews is like, nah, I'm good. And the Undisputed Era, you say no to the Undisputed Era, that's it. So they beat the crap out of Apollo, right? And then week in and week out, it's, you know, just someone else trying to go out there and prove their worth to the Undisputed Era. And the Undisputed are just taking control of everything. Nobody can stop them, right? Because in NXT, they are a dominant force, but they could be even more dominant. You know, they could add members. I'm currently thinking of a segment with Balor. We talked about it earlier, right? We talked about the fact that Balor's going to NXT now, right? It's obviously leading to something with Adam Cole. Now, scrap what's happened on on NXT with Balor returning, right? Scrap that. That hasn't happened in my world, right? So no one's been able to stop the Undisputed Era. Nobody. They are still running roughshod over everybody. Balor hasn't been seen since the Fiend attack. Right? Balor comes out. Right? And Adam Cole's like, oh, I forgot you were here. Just like everyone else did. Just like everyone else has. Again, you were the NXT champion at one point. And now look at you. All you are is a smiling buffoon. That's all you are. You put a smile on your face. You cater to these cretins in the audience. And for what? A little bit of adulation? Just so you can say that Balor Club is for everyone? I don't know if anyone remembers, but Mr. Balor of the Balor Club. Who's in the Balor Club? Because I don't see anyone around you. But if you look here, I'm with my club. I'm with my Undisputed Era. And guess what? You don't have no friends. You don't have anybody. You see Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, they're with AJ Styles right now. You've always been forgotten about. You've always been an afterthought. You've been here for how long? 2.5, 3 years? And look at what you've become. You've become a mockery of yourself. Look at you in Japan. Look at the Finn Balor that was in Japan. That would go out there and say real things. But look at you now. Look at you now, Balor. And you know what? It's funny. Because you have no friends. And if the Undisputed Era were to beat you, you wouldn't survive. So I'm going to give you a chance, Balor. I have AJ Styles with me right now. And then it cuts to a backstage segment where AJ Styles is basically at this point, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish aren't in the ring with him. Right?
Yeah.
Backstage, AJ Styles is being beat up by the Undisputed Era. And even though, you know, the Balor Club, AJ's never been a part of it, people know their history. People know what they went through, right?
Yeah.
So Adam Cole goes, you have two options, Finn. Either you go back there and you beat up AJ Styles, or I end your career. And you'll become an afterthought, just like you have for the past 2.5 years. Only this time, you're not getting married. You're going to the hospital. And Finn's there just like contemplating what to do. He has no idea what to do. And then Adam Cole goes, oh, there's the third option. You come with me backstage right now. We go to AJ Styles. And you beat him up for me. Which means you become a part of the Undisputed Era. Don't you want that, Finn? Don't you want that spotlight? Because you become a joke, Finn. don't you want to become real? And Finn has to do it. He beats up AJ Styles. He joins the Undisputed Era reluctantly. But then more and more, as the weeks pile on, Finn Balor starts enjoying it. He starts enjoying being a part of the Undisputed Era. So, effectively, Adam Cole has brainwashed Finn Balor into joining the Undisputed Era.
God damn. Everyone listening right now, I don't know how you feel about this. I might be a little bit biased, but when Rob talks, what I can do, like, I can actually envision it. Like, I can see in my head everything. Yeah. Carry on.
Well, that's the thing though, right? It becomes a problem when fans can create better storylines than actual professional writers can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's literally just off the top of my head, because I've watched for so long and I've seen different storylines pan out. I think one of the best story arcs ever was The Shield.
Yes.
I thought that the entire storyline with The Shield was great.
I kind of got a sense with how you've started this. I kind of get a sense that you're kind of taking bits of The Shield.
Yeah, of course.
I got a sense of that, and it's so formulaic to say so far so good, but that's how I feel about it so far. It's so far so good.
Yeah.
So did that take place on next week's SmackDown? On next week's Raw.
What's the draft in it?
Carry on.
So that was at the draft. So basically, Rollins has been drafted to SmackDown, but Rollins hasn't been seen since the Undisputed Era beat him. He has not been seen. And the fact that Balor is now a part of the Undisputed Era means that basically the Undisputed Era may still be a part of NXT, but they leave NXT behind, because in their mind they don't need NXT. They made NXT. You know, they made NXT the undisputed show to watch. And it's crazy, the fact that, like, I can just think of these things off the top of my head, because it should be something that a writer could just do right away.
Yeah.
You should have that creative instinct. And I think that mostly comes from watching WWE for such a long time, knowing how their storylines work, but also wanting to alter them. Like, fantasy booking is such a fun thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I ain't even got notes on me right now. This is all from the top of my head.
Yeah, guys, literally, we thought of this, we thought of doing this about 20 minutes before we went live. Literally.
I think too much, too many times, a faction has got together and within a year they break up. You know, or they, just split off. I don't want that to happen to the Undisputed Era. I feel like there is too much talent there. There is too much worth there to have them just turn and like Adam Cole as the evil mastermind, because let's be honest, Adam Cole is one of the best pure heels in WWE.
Oh, gotcha.
Like, the charisma of the guy. Because I've watched Adam Cole for quite a while now, I kind of know how his promos work. Which is why I literally just created that one that he said to Finn and Rollins.
Yeah. So, here's what we're going to do. What time is it? Because we have to go and watch Raw soon, guys. Right. So, at this point in the story, where are we?
Right, so the draft has just happened. Rollins hasn't been seen. I'm doing a little bit of a blank here. Put it this way, right? You have the Undisputed Era dominate all the way to the Rumble.
Okay. We'll do the Rumble, and then we'll end it there.
Yeah.
Because I want to, and we will come back this time tomorrow to continue this. Gives Rob 24 hours to do notes, because if he did this off the top of his head, Jesus. So, yeah, we're gonna, so, take it away, book to the Rumble. That's what, another 2 months?
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to include any other of the pay-per-views in that, or?
The 5-on-5 match, the Raw vs SmackDown 5-on-5, instead of it being a 5-on-5 Raw and SmackDown, it's Undisputed Era versus NXT's Best for one night only.
You mean NXT, the best past from NXT, or the best that are currently in NXT?
Both.
Can I just give you who I would pick?
Yeah, sure.
He might not use this, but this is just my pick. Gargano.
Yeah.
Ciampa.
Yeah.
Black.
Yeah.
Nakamura.
Yeah.
Gargano. Ciampa. Black. Nakamura. Apollo.
Mhm.
They beat Apollo down.
So basically, it's just NXT's Best, right? But there's a caveat to that. So one of the members before the match gets absolutely beaten up by the Undisputed Era, right? Gets absolutely destroyed.
Maybe Apollo,
Yeah.
because he's the weak link of that team.
Yeah. And who comes out?
AJ Styles.
Wait. Who hasn't been seen?
Oh wait, Seth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because Seth was also in.
Yeah.
Good thinking. Yeah, good thinking.
So it makes 100% sense. So all of a sudden, Adam Cole was like, what is Rollins doing back? Bearing in mind, Rollins has been gone for... See, this is the thing. Long-term storytelling is not a difficult thing. Fans can be patient. You just have to get them invested.
Exactly.
And I feel like if this happened, they would be invested, right? So basically, Rollins comes out. Cole is obviously very surprised. He goes directly for Adam Cole. And once again, in the match, Undisputed Era just dominate. Obviously, each superstar gets their own moves in, they look strong. But once again, Rollins is a sole man. Well, no, it's Rollins and Gargano in the final two. Imagine the whole spots.
Yep. Yep.
So you do that, and then you have them win. You have the Undisputed Era win.
Clean.
Everyone's just like nobody can stop them.
Would you have it be clean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They beat Rollins clean. But Gargano puts up a hell of a babyface fight.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Not as much as he actually did in real life, where he kicked out of everything. But he tries really valiantly and ends up coming up short, right? But Rollins is still the Universal Champion at this point. Rollins is still with that title, and Adam Cole at this point, he's left NXT, right? And then we get to the Rumble. Adam Cole enters at number 1. Kyle O'Reilly enters at number 2. Bobby Fish enters at number 3. All 5 of the Undisputed Era versus WWE's roster in a Royal Rumble. And it's going really well up until the 28 and the 29th spot. In the 28th spot, AJ Styles comes out. And AJ Styles is fuming. He is ready to destroy Adam Cole, right?
Yeah.
But the Undisputed Era is still there. All of them are still there. But Balor gets eliminated by AJ. So at this point, Balor's out, but the rest of the Undisputed Era is still there. Then number 30 comes out. And who cost Rollins the match? The Fiend.
Oh.
So basically, all the Undisputed Era are in the ring. Rollins is there. Lights go out. They go back on. The Fiend is there with Rollins and tosses him out and costs him the match. But the Fiend does not want the title. This is the way it should have been. If they were going to do this match at Hell in a Cell, they should have made it a thing where the Fiend does not want the title. He wants to get inside of Seth's mind. He wants to manipulate Seth. He wants to brainwash Seth. Right? He wants to take him to a dark, dark place. That's exactly what he does at the Rumble. And Rollins disappears. And what are we down to?
The Fiend versus Cole.
Nope. We are down to the final 2 men in the ring, which is AJ Styles.
Oh, yeah.
And Adam Cole.
Sorry, my mind went
It's alright.
blank for a second.
We're down to Adam Cole and AJ Styles. AJ Styles is about to win. He's very close to winning. But the previously eliminated Finn Balor grabs AJ, attacks him. Cole wins. Cole's going to WrestleMania.
Hold on, because you might not have cleared this up, but if you did, I'm a bit fuzzy right now. Who's the Universal Champion?
It's still Rollins.
Okay, so he was in the Rumble because of Era.
Mm-hmm.
Right, okay.
Yeah. That's all I've got for now.
That is... And that's where we're going to leave it, guys, in terms of that. That is... I have something to look forward to over the next 24 hours now. Because it certainly ain't Raw.
I have no fucking life. I literally just came up with that on the spot.
I'm actually going to send him a link. to this because he needs to hear it back. That was... wow.
Did it make sense?
All of it made sense. All of it made sense. It was my own brain that got messed up because when I was envisioning it all, the one thing I didn't envision was the Fiend leaving the ring. But yeah, it's perfect so far. I'll be interested to hear what people think, but I think it's perfect so far. How much time are you giving this, though? That's what I want to know. I know you say you don't want to break them up, but this story of them, I'm guessing, being on top, how much time are you giving this?
I'd say up until I don't know, because I feel like at some point the Undisputed Era need to start having a little bit of dissension.
I was going to say give it 2 Manias. This Mania, and then through to next Mania.
Honestly, like, there's so much you could do with long-term storytelling.
Exactly.
That we just don't do. Like,
which, ladies and gentlemen, over however long we do this for, and it won't just be the era, but the only reason we're cutting it short tonight is because Raw starts in half an hour, and he just thought of that off the top of his head.
Imagine if that actually happens tonight. Imagine.
They need to do something.
Just some sort of parallel universe.
Oh, god damn.
Undisputed Era come, I'd actually lose my shit. I'd actually lose it.
Oh, that'd be incredible.
But either way, they need to do something memorable tonight.
Yeah, let's just talk about that quick.
Yeah.
We spoke off camera.
Let's do a quick preview of Raw.
So, I think... So, Rob's been watching wrestling since 2011.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching wrestling since 2004. I've been watching MMA since 2007.
Yeah.
I cover MMA, wrestling, and about 25 other sports on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and I've been doing that for 7 years. We have never been as angry as we were last night or today because of last night. I've never seen a backlash that I saw last night.
I think the second worst of that was when Roman won the Rumble in 20.
Oh yeah. If we're gonna make it a top 3, Batista the previous year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then...
as far as fan outrage and like people saying they're going to unsubscribe from the network, like, definitely.
Exactly. I think this is the worst because we both share opinions on this. This match shouldn't have been booked in the first place.
No.
But because you booked it, the title should have changed hands.
Mm-hmm. Once again, they do what they always do. They put themselves into a corner.
And just at one point in that main event, you know when Seth was trying to find something to use?
Mm-hmm.
Why not use Bray Wyatt's mallet? It was there. He was staring at it at one point.
Mm-hmm.
He was looking for everything to use. You can go for a sledgehammer or something that's like 10 times its size.
Yeah.
That pissed me off.
Yeah, I had quite a lot of problems with that, to be honest. I thought the beginning of it was cool. I thought that the presentation, of course, it's WWE.
Yeah,
like,
we have differing opinions on the lights, but...
the entrance, I kind of like the lights because it gave a horror like feel to it.
Yeah, the first few minutes though, I couldn't watch it because not because of the horror aspects, but just because of the light. I have problems with my eyes.
Yeah,
So that contrast of red at times became too much, and I had to turn away and listen to it because the more I watched it, the more my eyesight was going. Kind of like when it's the same thing that they used to do with Sankara.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fucking hell. we can do a whole show on the old Sankara, the old first Sankara.
Oh, we will at some point. That's on my bucket list. That one.
But I thought the beginning of the match was cool, where basically Rollins couldn't do anything. But then, as the match went on, Rollins just got too much offense in.
You know when I think we should have got to the finish of Bray Wyatt winning? When he started no-selling. Mm-hmm. The second the Fiend started to no-sell, that should have been it then.
I wouldn't have minded if the Fiend would have just been hit with a stomp. He gets up, mandible claw, that's it.
Oh yeah.
Like, that makes him look very, very strong. And here's the problem with that, right? Rollins is the Universal Champion. And they keep saying, oh, he's slayed beasts, he's slayed kings, he's slayed monsters. Can he slay the Fiend? Can he be the Fiend Slayer? Yeah, it's completely different. The Fiend is supposed to be this unworldly character.
Yeah.
Supposed to be...
He's almost supernatural.
This more than supernatural, this like invincible, Michael Myers type that just cannot be stopped. You can put him through fire, you can do anything to him, you can run him over, you can do everything, but he'll still get up.
Yeah.
And he'll still be in Unite there. It's like, and that's a really cool thing. Like, just a little disclaimer here, I'm going to dress up as the Fiend for Halloween. Like, no matter what, I'm still dressing up as the Fiend for Halloween. That's still happening.
Just as a side point, guys, I think for me it's either going to be AJ, because I've been trying to pull off AJ for years, or I'm going to be Negan from The Walking Dead again, because that's my go-to. I've done it before, I've done it well, and I'm always trying to add new ideas to it. But in terms of how we talk about wrestling and the approach that we take, I take the journalism approach. I watch it and I pay a lot of attention to journalists and pro wrestlers. For example, me and Robert have spoken about this a ton. My hero in wrestling has a bit to do with wrestling, but more to do with the person, and that's Matt Morgan. And Matt Morgan is part of Wrestling Inc. That's my go-to podcast. So I was on Twitter last night after the Wrestling podcast, and I was seeing a ton of tweets from Ryan Satin, from
I love Ryan.
From Pro Wrestling Sheet.
I watch Pro Wrestling Sheet weekly.
And he made a tweet. Remember, this is Ryan Satin, big figure.
Mm-hmm.
He said, let me see if I can find the actual tweet, actually. I know when I saw it, I started thinking, yeah, I agree. Hold on, let me try and find it. I know the basics of what he said, but I'm just trying to see if I can find exactly what he said. Okay. Here we go. So this was a series of Ryan Satin's tweets after that main event went off the air. Wow. The Fiend is being made tonight. The fact that he's no-selling almost everything is surprising. Hate the DQ finish though. That was ridiculous. It's a Hell in a Cell match. He then said, that was the most unhappy I've ever heard a WWE crowd in a long time after the main event of a pay-per-view. If the powers that be thought it was too early to give the Fiend the title, then they shouldn't have booked him in a title match. That ruined him no-selling everything. He then said,
I do agree with him saying, well, the Fiend no-selling. To begin with, it was cool.
Yeah.
Because it's never been done.
So, I can't find it now, but he did say, maybe he took it down to that, but he said that it needs to be retconned tonight.
Yep.
That they need to find a way to reverse this tonight. And I've already said, Rob can confirm this, I'm a big advocate for all wrestling. I love New Japan, I love AEW, and I've been saying for a long time that I think WWE are fucked. I said on Twitter last night, I said on Instagram earlier today, that AEW don't even have to do anything at the moment because I feel like WWE are going to destroy themselves. I feel like WWE are going to help AEW more than AEW can help themselves. And I said, the only way they can save this is by doing what they're not going to do, and that's end the night with is that by the end of the night, the Fiend has the title. That's the only way that they can make any good of this, but they're not going to do that.
No. There's a thing with WWE, it's too good to be true. Like, you think of all these, like, for example, that angle I just made up,
Yeah.
the Undisputed Era, that's too good to be true. That's not going to happen. You know? Because it's from a different creative mind. These writers, right, these are Hollywood writers. These aren't pro wrestling writers.
They had Ryan someone who was doing SmackDown at one point. I can't remember his last name. He was, if I remember correctly, he had been on camera before, and that was when Jericho was trying to find the list, and he went up to Jericho and said that it had been found. He was booking SmackDown at one point, or writing SmackDown at one point.
The thing though, it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
When it gets to a point where not only do they put themselves into a corner, but they put themselves into a corner that they can't get out of, because they have built up the Fiend perfectly.
Oh yeah.
Right? Nothing has been bad about the Fiend apart from the finish last night. But WWE do not like to admit when they're wrong.
No, they don't. Oh, shout out to What Culture, because I heard this there. What Culture said, in an era where it's almost impossible for fans to suspend their disbelief, the Fiend almost made it happen.
Yeah.
And now that's gone.
Yeah. Unless it gets retconned. Unless tonight, something major has to happen tonight, otherwise it's just going to be another average Raw. And no one is going to want to see that. People are going to tune out.
Imagine, like, this isn't going to happen, but just imagine if all of Raw tonight, there's basically only one storyline. And imagine if that bleeds into the Braun and Tyson Fury thing.
Love, dude? You know what I'd love if they do it tonight? The entire show slowly being taken over by the Fiend.
Yeah.
And wanting revenge. You know, because it's been... The Fiend does not want that title. The Fiend is not a materialistic person. He's not even a person, right? So the fact that in the first place the Fiend was going for the Universal title was very shocking, because he's not a man, you know? He's a Fiend is something different.
But Rollins having the title is just a title.
Exactly.
The Fiend having the title could make it so much more.
Exactly. The amount of cool things you could do. You could have it like bedazzled in Firefly Funhouse, or you know, there's literally so much you can do. You can even have they won't do this, right? They won't do this. But you could even have a pay-per-view, or you know, one show where the Firefly Funhouse has literally taken over the entire show.
Yes.
That it's literally the set for Firefly Funhouse is at Raw, and people do not know what to think. They do not know what to do. They are scared. They are watching their every move, because as soon as those lights go out, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You know, no one has been able to escape the Fiend. No one. And like Bray said on Raw, Bray may have forgiven, but the Fiend never forgets.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Fiend hasn't forgotten, he won't forget. And what pisses me off is that we're building to the Saudi Arabia show, which means that Rollins is going to be on TV, even though last night he was bleeding from the mouth.
Yeah.
You know? Like, something big needs to happen, but let's be honest, it's probably not.
It won't.
They're probably just gonna have Rollins go out there, cut a promo saying, I went to the depths of hell last night, blah blah blah. And they'll probably get a Firefly Funhouse segment, which is all fine and dandy. But
expect Rollins to get booed out the building tonight, guys.
Oh, absolutely.
Expect it.
I don't want to hear no burn it down chants.
No.
I want to hear burn it out, burn it out.
Yeah.
Because like I said, it's not Rollins' fault, but the character is boring and bland, and the Fiend is something fresh and new and different.
Yeah.
Why do you think as soon as it happened, the fans attached to it? Because it's different, it's new, it's inventive. It's the most sport entertainment thing to happen in a decade. Like, the most sports entertainment thing to happen.
You know what I was saying earlier, and then you said it, about an angle taking over a show?
Mm-hmm.
It harkens back to one of my favourite angles taking over a show ever, and by the way, pun intended, you'll get it when I'm about to say it. There was a feud going on in TNA, 2010, 2011, and it was Bobby Roode and Kurt Angle.
Yep.
Now, they had a brawl at the start of that show.
Mm-hmm.
They both fought, they destroyed each other in the ring, got separated, went backstage. There was a match going on in the middle of that show, and Roode comes down, gets on the mic in the middle of another match, and calls out Kurt Angle, and Kurt Angle comes out and they start brawling. And that whole show was built around that feud. That
there should only be one common thread throughout this entire Raw, because it's the most important thing.
The Fiend.
The Fiend.
Mm-hmm.
Without a doubt. It's all everyone talks about every single week.
Yeah.
You know, it's the most talked about thing. And if you do nothing with it tonight,
oh,
boy, people are going to be pissed. I mean, when I watched What Culture reaction to it, and I saw the reaction, and they're like, what the fuck, WWE?
I haven't seen it yet.
Like, they were just shouting, what the fuck, what is this, what is happening?
Like I said to Rob and he agreed. I said it on Twitter, and I said it on Insta. The first thing I started with on Twitter was, congratulations, Vince, you've just added another 500,000 to Dynamite on Wednesday night. And
this is why fans are begging for an alternative, and they finally have it.
Oh yeah. And by the way, we're not AEW fanboys. Let me just, because there were, I just want to put this out there quick. As I said, I was in the Wrestling podcast last night, and I was reading all the comments. And before the stream started, there was everybody commenting, saying, I bet all the AEW fanboys are going to come out in droves now. And there were people trashing the WWE, not because they like AEW, but they were mentioning what happened at the end of Hell in a Cell. And I said in my Twitter thing afterwards, to put the haters in their place, why do you think we're so happy that we have AEW? Because of shit like this.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan.
Exactly.
And it's a great time to be either in the professional wrestling business or around it.
And don't think for a second that if WWE retcon it, for example, this retcon, for a start, would only paper over cracks. But at the same time, WWE giving the fans what they want isn't going to tune people out of AEW. It's going to make fans love everything. It's in my eyes, it's a war. We're embracing it as a war, but I don't want a war. I want it where everyone just, it's the best thing for wrestling.
I put a thing on Instagram the other day, and I literally said wrestling wins.
Exactly.
Like that, and that's the truth.
Like my most favourite thing was when you had people from both sides wishing people luck.
Yeah, I mean, WWE even said congratulations to AEW on the first show.
When did they do that?
They did a press release, I think.
God damn.
Where they said it.
I'm guessing, do you think they had the approval of Vince for that?
I don't know. All I know is that it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. But at the same time, if you're displeased, that's fine.
Oh, just one more point. Whilst we mention Vince, I don't know if you saw the Vince may be over the next couple of months taking time away from the WWE. The reason being, the XFL draft is at the end of October.
Yeah.
So Vince will not be. There's no possible way he can be at WWE that week. So just bear that in mind for the shows at the end of the month, guys. Vince won't.
Vince weren't at Raw a few weeks ago, weren't they not?
I don't think so. No.
There was a story going on that Vince weren't there, and it was this new guy in Paul Heyman and Triple H.
Yeah, like.
That's what I heard.
But
at the end of the day, right? It's a great time to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
And especially the fact that for so long it's only been WWE. For so long it's that's the only thing to watch if you're a wrestling fan. Sure, there's New Japan. Sure, there's Ring of Honor, but it's not as well known. That's not me taking a knock at it. That's just me saying that wrestling mainstream was only WWE until AEW came along.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. Because not many people know about New Japan who are casuals, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I like New Japan. I don't watch it religiously like I do WWE and AEW now, or NXT, but I appreciate it, and when I can watch it, I will. I just don't have I don't have the money to watch it for their streaming network. I don't have the money for it. 2, it's already a lot to watch within a week.
Yeah.
I said this to my friend the other day. I said, being a full-time wrestling fan is like having a full-time job.
It is now.
Like there is so much programming. Raw.
But the thing is now, it gives us two who, just a quick backstory for those that may not know. Rob can give you his, but I'm someone that it's public knowledge that my love of sports and gaming saved my life.
Yeah.
I've been suffering from mental health problems since I was 4 years old.
Yeah.
I grew up in care. I have been homeless. I have mental health problems. I have physical health problems. But the one constant has always been I've always had something there, and that's my love of sports, my love of gaming, and my love of pro wrestling. It's always kept me through. And when I joined social media in 2011, I decided that I was going to do what I love, and that was talk about sports. And my love of wrestling is so diverse because it gives people like me, and with how much content there is now, it gives me and Rob the opportunity to do something that we've spoken about it for 2-3 years now.
We contemplated about it, we just never, because we've never really had the opportunity to do that, especially because you're in Liverpool, I'm in Burnley.
Yeah.
It can, Ross starting, by the way.
Right now?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Right. We're going to cut it here, guys. We will be back this time tomorrow. Well, probably a bit earlier, actually, but follow me on Twitter and Instagram, the BubbaKing on both. You'll have updates for when we go live tomorrow. I'm going to get the Ginger Knight to make a Twitter. I think he's on Insta.
Yeah, I am.
What's your name on Insta?
It is, get up. SmithyBoy19 with like 7 eyes.
Right, I'll find it and I'll put it in a comment on the video. We're going to go watch Raw. Cheers for now, guys. Have an amazing night. See you tomorrow for part 2 of the Kingdom Books Undisputed Era, and we will talk about Raw. Cheers for now, guys. Peace.